Good morning, everyone. I'm surprised so many people are there to listen to my talk. I'm taking you out from the microscope to a telescope now. So this is more on the larger arena that we want. So thanks to the previous speaker who set this tone to me already. So there was this Danish twin study which mentioned that only genetics can predict 20% of your life. It's the rest of it is predicted by your lifestyle and the environment where you're living in. And even Dan Buettner, the person who has researched most on the blue zones, he also speaks about the same thing. So this is where our Panchamantra for longevity comes into picture, where being a health enthusiast, even I myself have figured it out in my life, which I'll be sharing in few slides. This is not only one thing that will give you results. Okay, it's not only gut microbiome, it's not only exercise, it's not only sleep. It's all together having a compounding effect on your life. That's where we are approaching this from the 5-pronged strategy. And to make things simple for people to remember, we have grouped it in under 5 and wanted to call it as Panchamantra and gave this an Indian name. Earlier we coined it as 5-pronged strategy, then why to keep it in English terms? Let us have the roots from India, so we gave it as Panchamantra. But many people got confused that we are coming from Ayurveda principles. No, not only that. So there is this fundamental question that I want to ask all of you, and maybe because this is a longevity conference, all of you are already, you must have already asked yourself this question, or many speakers would have asked. But generally when we talk to the people when we are creating awareness, when we are going and talk to them, they ask, the first question that I want to ask them is, how long you want to live? And is it only living longer, or about the health span too? How well you want to live? And how does it, how does it actually in real terms? Do you want to go to the toilet on your own when you are above 85, 90? And that's dignity that you want to live with. Do you want to remember your great-grandchildren or your own children? Because memory matters a lot. Without memory, no relationship exists. So that quality of life is also very important along with this longevity that we all talk about. So this is the one fundamental question that I want all of you to answer, but later we'll go through the presentation. Then, why do you want to live longer? One of my aunt, she lost her husband at very young age, and she had only one daughter. And recently when I met her, and I was talking about all these Panchamantra things to them, wherever I go, I keep talking. So she was like, no, why I have to live? I got my daughter married. Her son also is now adolescent. I took care of him. Now I don't have any purpose to live. So without you having a purpose to live longer, that determination, that grit won't be there, or the resilience won't be there. So you need to have a stronger purpose of life. And unfortunately in India, the purpose is mainly getting your children educated or build a house. Beyond this, we do not have any other purpose in life. We need to create those purposes larger than ourselves or our family. When are you going to make that choice? So is this choice that you are going to make when you retire at 60 years? Or when you reach 80 years? So this is one fundamental question. Again, backed with science, we have to answer. So this is something that I wanted to show where our all ideas came from is health cannot be dealt in isolation. I am a preventive medicine specialist. Way back in 2008, when I was doing my MD residency, I made the presentation seminar on this blue zone. From then I was very much interested about blue zone, creating that, starting a preventive medicine clinic. Many of the people that I spoke to, I did a market research, they said, Anil, India is not ready for this. They won't listen to you. How people are coming to us in the clinic is, sir, I have this problem, give this medicine. So they come with a diagnosis, they come with a solution. You are just a mediator, like a designated pharmacist, that's it. They are not ready to listen. So then I stopped that idea. I'm coming from a lower middle class family. I did not want to invest. I had some family commitments, financial commitments. So I went to WHO, went to UNICEF, worked in India, Africa, all those places, large scale programs. I worked in infectious diseases. I worked in reproductive, maternal, newborn child and adolescent. But still, this passion was driving me within to work on this. And when I came back to the academics, that's the place where I started looking at this from a newer lens, and I started working on all the research from past 6 years on non-communicable diseases. Because we worked on the communicable diseases. Now the epidemic shift has happened towards the non-communicable diseases. So your life, or I can't deal with your health in isolation. Okay, you have to take care of your health right now, focus on it. That cannot happen. Your life keeps happening with all these priorities in your life. And I need to figure out certain solutions which is a part of your life. That is where this is actually not working. That is where we need to invent, innovate. So this is where we have begun. I came, so I wanted to create Blue Zone in Mysore. So this is where we proposed it. Then we wrote some proposals, grants and all. We got 3 secured grants, two from ICMR, one from ICSSR, worth almost 6.5 crores in the last year. So we are still working on this. We have collected around 1,000 data on this. And longitudinal cohort, anybody is interested, we are there. What we have done is, did I press something? What was there? What we have done is we have divided Mysore into 8 parts, both taking urban and rural into picture, because what's happening now is in 1990, 90% of our people were living in rural. Only 10% were in urban. Now, almost 40% are living in urban, and this is going to change. By 2050, around 60 to 80% will live in urban areas. Only 20 to 30% in the rural areas. So we have taken that into picture, and we have taken 60% of urban, 40% of rural. We have divided into all 4 directions: northwest, northeast, southwest, southeast, so that even environmental things should be nullified. We are focusing mainly on the lifestyle, because I cannot come and change the environment in a day. What you can do is only about you. So that's why we are focusing on your lifestyle. So that is where this Panchamantra principles came into existence, and we proposed, and we have got this ICSSR grant to work on this in Mysore, Udupi and Yadgir, because ICSSR said that you work on vulnerable communities, how this will work on them. And then the ICMR grant we also have age stratified them, 20 to 80. So that we are going to get some normalized data. We are also measuring the oxidative stress among 3 different groups: now normal, diabetics, and people who had a cardiovascular incident. So, sorry for some technical glitch here. So this is where our team is all working. We are creating cohort, and we are open for gut microbiome, we are open for gene mapping, everything. And when we are looking at this study, so we are also want to take the wisdom from the people who are already living longer. So that's why JSS has sponsored this research on studying the people who are already living more than 90 years. We are not so confident that people would be living more than 100 years, because according to data, it says that only 2.1 out of 1 lakh in India are living longer. There are around, in 2015, all over India, 26,000 people who are living more than 100 years. That includes our Salu Marada Timmakka, who is 113 years now. But we are taking hopefully more than 90 years of people, or we may even come down, but to understand what are their lifestyle habits and what are the environment that they are going to live in. This is our team. Me being preventive medicine expert, I need the microscopic aspect of it. So we have Dr. Rajesh, who was earlier with Johns Hopkins, who is with us and now working on the biochemistry part. And then we have Ms. Shiba, Dr. Divya, and all our students who have also come up with a social entrepreneurship model. We have that in our stall here. This is something that I wanted to show, because when I say what is my qualification to talk to you about this, this is my journey of life from childhood. I did not want to bombard with many photos here, but this is a snapshot of my life. At age 21, I used to have six-pack abdomen. So nowadays in Instagram, everybody is talking about fitness and other things, about all this longevity. Those are the people who have fitness, abdomen, so the six-pack, and people listen to them. And when I'm being a doctor, they don't listen to me because I don't have it. And over a period of time, I had family pack, and definitely they want, what are you going to preach which you are not practicing? So I wanted to do that on myself. The main reason is at age 28, like I said, I wanted to practice this preventive medicine, but then it didn't come up. At that point of time, another thing happened was I lifted my bike in a bull worker and I didn't bend my knee. So I hurt my back very severely. I had to bed rest for 1 month. And from that point of time, I had fatty liver. I stopped exercising. I got scared. So six-pack became family pack. And at age 40, I had pre-diabetes and pre-hypertension. And resting heart rate, that was around 72. Okay. So this is the place where I was like, I didn't accept that. Oh, this is not going to happen to me. I have to reverse this. So then I started this journey on Panchamantra and everything, because over a period of time I was doing that. It is not that I was not doing anything here. I was actually working on from 38 to 40 hours work. I was playing badminton every day. But badminton didn't help me, because it's not only one thing that you have to focus on. Badminton is just very, it is like intense cardio, that's it. But it doesn't work on your muscle. So you need to work on your muscle. So that is where I realized, and I joined Cult Fit also at that point of time, because for me time was essential. If I go to gym, I used to take 1.5 to 2 hours, whereas in Cult Fit, 45 minutes I could actually work it out, the HIIT that we talk about. That made a huge difference, and my resting heart rate reduced to 55, no pre-diabetes, no pre-hypertension. Fatty liver is there, I'm still working on that. And to give you certain data, we didn't have DEXA scan at that point of time, now we have that. But I got this in-body scanning done, which gives, according to bioimpedance technology, it gives you the muscle mass, fat mass and everything. So if the usual target that we keep is the BMI, and BMI didn't change. In 8 months, it didn't change anything from 30 to 29. But if you see the visceral fat level from 10, it reduced to 7. Then body fat mass from 25 to 18, percentage from 29 to 21. Athletes have between 12 to 18% of body fat percentage. So I reached around 21. And then muscle mass I already had, because I used to work out a lot. So it didn't improve much, but definitely there is an increase from 34 to 37. Already I have a higher level of muscle mass. So this is what I wanted to show, that don't go with the wrong markers, weight, BMI. This is an indicator for undernutrition, not for overnutrition. For screening it is okay, but for progression and other things, prognosis, you need to look for other parameters. So if we look at the larger perspective of why these lifestyle diseases are happening and everything, so we have shifted from past 20,000 years from hunters and gatherers to agriculture, and from there we are now mostly into desk-based job. And there are major shifts that has happened is demographic shift, that is aging population are increasing, urbanization has happened, and changing work-life balance, and there is epidemic shift from communicable diseases to non-communicable diseases, maternal and child health problems to non-communicable diseases, and occupational changes in life. And nobody is teaching us this, how to adapt to this change. And this is where the lifestyle diseases are increasing. And if we look at a snapshot of the global perspective of the life expectancy, this is the life expectancy at birth. So even the highly developed country like United States has only 76 years of life expectancy at birth. And India is standing at 69. And we have regional difference here. India is like a continent. So we have a regional difference. Like Kerala has already reached around 75, Delhi, Jammu and Kashmir, UP and everything is below. But I would say that for another 10 years, till we take care of infant mortality, maternal mortality, please don't see these figures. Don't look at the life expectancy, but look at the life expectancy at age 60 years. If you look at that data, people who have lived up to 60 years, if you look at their life expectancy, this figure changes. UP comes almost 74, 75 years. So that is something which is a huge change here, which we have to look for. So lessons learned from these blue zones are, the power of 9 they speak about. So they speak about not working out heavily, but move naturally throughout the day. Then have a purpose of life. They also undergo stress, but they have downshift mechanisms. And they follow this 80% rule. When they are full, 80% full, they stop eating. And they are mainly based on plant-based diet. At least once in 3 weeks, they have non-vegetarian food. And they have wine at 5. I mean, that's again freshly prepared wine. And again, moderate alcohol. And they have positive tribe, that is people who are into positive aspects of it, the socialization aspect, they pull you for that. And that works a lot because individual willpower will take you to a certain extent, but if you have positive tribes, they will pull you towards making it happen. And they prefer the loved ones first, and they belong to some faith-based organizations. And adopting this, they have converted many of these areas with certain parameters, not all, in certain parameters, and Singapore has declared it as a man-made blue zone recently. There are other proven models of well-being. I'm not going to in detail about it because the bell has already rung, but there are mainly psychological and behavioral models from PERMA by Martin Seligman, SPIRE model, Ikigai, also again a blue zone principle, salutogenesis model, which speaks about the sense of coherence, Holocaust survivors. And our own systems of medicines are there, Ayurveda, yoga, even lifestyle medicine has come into picture in US, American College of Lifestyle Medicine, functional medicine has come into picture. Then there is one more for brain health by finger model, shape framework. So our principle is working on these 5 parameters to make it simple and easy. Adopting from all these, we have grouped it under them. And we are addressing what you have to do, how you have to do, but then who has to do this and why you have to do this have to be figured out, and we need to empower you on that. So there are many things that you can do. So one thing that if you ask me here, what is the main thing that I need to focus on? Can I just take 1 minute more? You need to focus on having 10,000 steps per day. That improves your cardiac endurance. But again, focus on increasing your heart rate to above 100 to at least 140. So that is the, if you just walk, your heart rate won't increase from 70 to 80 or 90, but you need to have a brisk walk. So that is one principle. Second thing is have weight training at least 2 times a week. Weight training is a must because the previous study also showed, Map My Genome showed that osteoporosis is one of the factors. So muscle mass is one thing. Muscle is the organ for longevity. Second thing, muscle insertion place will actually pull those sides and they will improve mineralization. So those are the main things that we need to work on. And diet, when it comes, I'm working this with my kids. You cannot say, don't have that, don't have this. It doesn't work. What you need to do is, whatever you are having, add this. So, and have this first. Make them eat fiber and protein first. Then ensure that they are having prebiotic and probiotics. That's it, simple. Let them have anything else. So we need to adjust with these things. So this is the practicality that we are working on. And rest and sleep, 6 to 9 hours, adequate sleep, or anything, at least 6 to 7 hours if you sleep, you should be fresh the next day. Rest is very important. Many research has shown that every 25 minutes, if you rest for 5 minutes, your focus time will improve and you will have more efficiency. That is Pomodoro technique again. And earlier we coined this as positive mental health, but now we are coining it as balanced mental health because negative emotions are also important. If you're feeling guilty, that means you've done something wrong. So go say sorry. If you stop doing that because of your ego, then the guilt will fill up and it will eat you away. So that's why we call it as balanced mental health, where you need to recognize your negative emotions too. Those are also important. And then in this, meditation and mindfulness is also something that we need to do. As we age, we became mature and we stopped wondering. We don't have any wondering, we don't appreciate life. So that is something that we need to do. And socialization, recent study from Harvard also said that people who have strong social connections are living longer. So this is something that we need to actively do. It doesn't have passively. People don't come to you. You need to do it actively because your schools changed, you matured, people moved apart. Now you need to make a different sect of people. But then again, that can also pull you towards negative directions too. You need to be cautious enough for that. So main barriers that we found was when we speak to people to practice all this. One is time management. They're too busy or to prioritize health, and climate change and issues in self-readiness. So we need to focus on the built environment and the values and principles, the character that we build in yourself, because this is the who, the being in all of us who is going to implement all these principles. So you need to work on that. So the best time to start was yesterday. The next best time is today. So start this. And this is a video that I wanted to show. This is my father at 65 years. He was doing somersault with me and my brother-in-law. So, and he's now 75, still moving. He's He retired and he moved to our native place where he looks after the farm and everything. And my inspiration is him. He was always an athlete, always working out, always doing everything. But familially, we have hypertension. That's the only thing he has, nothing else. Age is just a number. These are the many activities that we are doing to create awareness about this. We have done small activities within our department, having a healthy meal in a day. So register and stay updated for more updates from us. We have just begun with many activities. So you can take your wellness score by scanning this QR code. If you miss this, we have a stall there. There also you can do that. We will come with more updates. Thank you. I'm sorry for the